What happens when a franchise finally admits their so-called star isn't actually their best player? Angel Reese just found out the hard way when the Chicago Sky named Kamilla Cardoso as their Player of the Year over her. After months of Reese publicly criticizing her teammates and demanding roster changes, the Sky delivered a message that couldn't be clearer. This decision reveals everything about Reese's true value to the organization and why her future in Chicago might be shorter than anyone expected. Do you think the Chicago Sky should trade Angel Reese? Let us know down in the comments below.
This is making a lot of noise right now as the Chicago Sky have put this out. Now, this is from the Chicago Sky. Another one, thank you. Kamilla Cardoso has been named the Player of the Year, 40 games played, 15 times Player of the Game, 6 times Player of the Week, 2 times Player of the Month. Congratulations, Kamilla Cardoso. Okay, and then they had this for her as well.
The Chicago Tribune interview revealed Angel Reese's true feelings about her teammates in ways that left everyone speechless. She declared that getting good players and great players was absolutely non-negotiable for her future with the team. Reese told reporters straight up that she wasn't settling for the same we did this year and demanded a complete overhaul of the roster. She made it clear the team can't settle for what we have this year and positioned herself as someone who could help attract top talent to Chicago. These weren't subtle hints or diplomatic suggestions. Reese directly attacked the quality of her current teammates in the most public way possible. Her words sent a message to every player in that locker room that she considered them inadequate. The veteran players who had been grinding in the WNBA for years suddenly found themselves being called out by a second-year player who thought she deserved better.
Let's see what Angel Reese had to say. I'm not settling for the same shit we did this year. Oh boy. Reese told the Tribune, we have to get good players. We have to get great players. That's a non-negotiable for me. I'm willing and wanting to play with the best. And however I can help to get the best here, that's what I'm going to do this offseason. So it's going to be very, very important this offseason to make sure we attract the best of the best because we can't settle for what we have this year. Overhaul this roster.
The timing made everything worse. Courtney Vanderloot was still working her way back from an ACL injury when Reese questioned her age and reliability in those same comments. Here's a veteran who had given everything to the league, and Reese essentially wrote her off as part of the problem. Vanderloot fired back immediately, saying, "My age is actually not a factor. I am coming back. I'm going to come back better than ever because that's what I've done I put myself in a position to come back and compete even at this age." Reese's demands weren't really about team improvement. They were about her belief that she deserved better supporting players to make her look good. She positioned herself as the centerpiece who needed quality pieces around her, completely ignoring the work and dedication of the players already there. This wasn't a team-first mentality. This was pure ego disguised as competitive drive.
We need great players, and I don't know what that will attract that. Maybe the practice facility will attract that. We'll see. But I think the priority is being able to convince free agents that this is an organization that is going in the right direction. I think, honestly, it would be a leap of faith for a great player to come here and show that this is something that they want to be a part of, and we can bring that championship mentality. A leap of faith to think that a great player would want to come to Chicago. Oh boy.
The front office had already bent over backwards to help Reese succeed. They traded for Ariel Atkins specifically to give her the kind of veteran presence she claimed to want. They gave up draft picks and made roster moves with Reese's development in mind. Yet there she was, publicly complaining that their efforts weren't enough. The organization invested in her vision, and she repaid them by telling the world it still wasn't good enough. Vanderloot's response showed the difference between real leadership and entitled demands. She defended not just herself but the entire roster's work ethic without ever directly naming Reese. Other veterans watched this unfold and started questioning what Reese actually understood about being a leader versus just being a star player who wanted better stats.
We can't rely on Courtney to come back at that age that she's at, Reese said. I know she'll be a great asset for us, but we can't rely on that. We need someone probably a little younger with some experience, somebody who's been playing the game and is willing to compete for a championship and has done it before. Courtney Vandersloot, by the way, 2-time WNBA champion, 5-time All-Star, 2-time All-WNBA first team, left the New York Liberty, a championship caliber team, to come help out the Chicago. Oh, damn. Oh, damn. Oh, dang. Oh, dang. It's all right, Courtney. It's all right.
Rachel Bannum captured the exhaustion everyone felt when she said, "I think I just don't really care. I'm so over all this." That's a veteran player admitting she was tired of the constant drama. Ariel Atkins, the player they literally traded for to help Reese, had to acknowledge the situation by saying, "We are aware of it. We are addressing it." Even coach Tyler Marsh called handling Reese's comments a top-down organizational decision. The locker room became divided immediately. Sources reported that teammates were furious about Reese's direct attacks, and a team meeting was planned to address her comments directly. Veterans who respected players like Vanderloot couldn't understand how Reese thought this was acceptable leadership behavior. The trust that holds teams together started cracking right there.
Now, how many players are going to listen to what Angel Reese had to say about Courtney Vandersloot? Are going to listen to what Angel Reese had to say about her current teammates? How many players are going to say, "Oh yeah, I want to play with that player who has no problem throwing me under the bus with 3 games to go. I want to play with that"? Maybe not many.
Reese had essentially broadcast to the entire league that her teammates weren't good enough to help her succeed. Every player heard that message loud and clear. The damage spread beyond just hurt feelings. It created an environment where players questioned whether their supposed star actually wanted to play with them or just wanted them replaced. The unity that championship teams require became impossible to build. How do you trust a teammate who publicly declares you're not good enough? How do you fight for someone who's already told the world you're part of the problem? Reese's comments didn't just criticize the roster. They poisoned the well for the entire season ahead.
So we know Angel Reese wants nothing, absolutely nothing to do with the Chicago Sky. She's been trying to force her way out. She refused to go into games down the stretch at the end of the season. And it seems like she's been trying to force her way out.
Angel Reese's demands for better teammates became a complete joke when she couldn't even show up consistently herself. Her injury status turned into the league's longest-running mystery. The Sky kept listing her as day-to-day for weeks without any real updates or medical details. Coaches couldn't plan rotations. Teammates didn't know who would be available for games. The whole situation created chaos that rippled through every practice and game preparation. The back injury excuse started falling apart when people noticed what Reese was doing during her absences. She traveled to Indiana to promote her Reebok sneakers instead of supporting her team. She dropped lines about taking over Caitlin Clark's trap in her rival's backyard while her own teammates were getting blown out. She actively hyped her shoe release on social media like it was the biggest event of the year. Fans started calling her the Vanishing Barbie because she disappeared whenever accountability showed up.
It is looking spooky in Chicago. Instead, Reese said she doesn't believe her teammates Rachel Berman or Haley Van Lith are capable of leading them to the leading the playoff team. Guard Ariel Atkins is another player on the Sky roster with WNBA championship experience. We are aware of it, Marsh stated. We are addressing it.
Reese played only 3 games in 3 weeks leading up to Chicago's elimination from playoff contention. All 3 games resulted in losses by an average of 18 points. The timing couldn't have been worse. The Sky needed every win they could get, and their supposed star was nowhere to be found. The lack of transparency made everything worse. Other teams gave clear injury updates and recovery timelines. Chicago just kept saying day-to-day like they were protecting state secrets. Her technical fouls told an even worse story about her mental state. Reese racked up 8 technicals during the season, earning an automatic suspension. The final technical came when she struck Aaliyah Edwards in the head while battling for a rebound. The league didn't hesitate to enforce the penalty. The suspension happened right before a crucial game against the Indiana Fever. The exact matchup everyone wanted to see. Reese's lack of control cost her team when they needed her most.
And watching the bottom of your screen, the contact by Reese.
You can see Angel's right hand got Aaliyah Edwards on the head. And if they do, Lisa, I'm okay with that too, because I think you have to officiate these teams very tightly.
So it'll be a technical foul on Angel.
The Sky organization had to take even more drastic action. They suspended Reese for conduct detrimental to the team based on statements she made during league-mandated media. The team handled it internally, but the label itself said everything. Reese had crossed lines that professional organizations couldn't tolerate. The half-game suspension felt like a weak response that showed the Sky were caught between disciplining their problem player and needing her for ticket sales. Here's the part that really exposed Reese's impact on winning. The Sky actually played better without her on the floor. The offense moved faster. Possessions looked less chaotic. The team didn't seem weighed down by a player who demanded touches and then turned the ball over. Reese led the league in turnovers despite missing significant portions of the season. Her presence created more problems than solutions.
Fact for you, 20% of the time Angel Reese gets her shot blocked inside of 9 feet. And 100% of the time she's doggy doo-doo. Burn! Give it to the lady in orange. Uh-oh, you're out. Simon didn't say. 101 turnovers in 26 games for our 2K cover. She's a stat stuffer. Bang! At least she always brings the boom. I'll see you tomorrow night. Bang!
Teammates started questioning where Reese's priorities really were. She demanded roster changes while being strategically unavailable herself. Veterans who had given everything to build winning cultures watched Reese prioritize brand activities over team success. The contrast was impossible to ignore. She wanted better players but wouldn't consistently play alongside the ones they had. The players only meeting that teammates planned to address Reese's comments directly never should have been necessary. Professional players shouldn't need to confront their supposed leader about basic team loyalty. The fact that veterans felt compelled to organize that meeting showed how completely trust had broken down. Rachel Bannum summed up the exhaustion when she said, "I think I just don't really care. I'm so over all this."
Hey, it's not all her fault. Her teammates stink. They gotta catch that, right? Right! Scooby-Dooby-Doo, where are you? Scooby, put down the butter. Butter pecan! Bang! This time of the year is the best. You got pumpkin spice football and Angel Reese layups. Bang! Final play of the game, Angel Reese clutch Gene. Womp, womp, womp. That's my Barbie. Bang!
Chicago's chemistry collapsed because reliability is the foundation of team sports. Players need to know who's going to show up. Coaches need to know who's available for game plans. Fans need to know their star player cares about winning. Reese's disappearing acts destroyed all of that. She created a toxic environment where nobody could count on their supposed centerpiece. The Sky discovered that having a player who demands excellence from others while failing to meet basic professional standards creates organizational chaos. Reese's availability issues, combined with her public criticism, made it impossible to build the trust and chemistry that championship teams require. Chicago learned the hard way that talent without reliability and leadership equals dysfunction.
Indiana Fever destroy the Chicago Sky in Indianapolis on Saturday. Guess who wasn't there? Angel Reese. Angel Reese declined to travel to Indianapolis, and her coach came out and said something about, she's just focused on her rehab right now, and, she's day to day. We've never had an explanation on what caused the back injury, what's a time frame for her recovery. It's similar to so-and-so's back injury. This is something she struggled with here or there. All we've heard is day-to-day, and Angel Reese has disappeared.
Caitlin Clark showed everyone what real leadership looks like during Indiana's transformation. She handled her own injury setbacks with complete transparency. When Clark dealt with an ear injury that affected her hearing during games, she explained the situation openly to media and fans. She never made excuses or created mystery around her availability. The Fever always knew exactly where Clark stood physically and mentally. Clark traveled with the team even when she couldn't play. She sat on the bench during games. cheering teammates, and staying engaged with every possession. During timeouts, she talked strategy with coaches and encouraged players who were struggling. Clark never disappeared when things got tough. She showed up for every practice she could attend and made sure her teammates felt supported whether she was playing or not. Her public comments about teammates created the exact opposite environment from Chicago's toxic situation. Clark constantly praised Aaliyah Boston's defensive improvements and rebounding consistency. She highlighted Lexi Hull's three-point shooting and called her one of the most reliable players on the roster. When Kelsey Mitchell had big games, Clark made sure everyone knew how much work Mitchell put in behind the scenes. Clark lifted her teammates up in interviews instead of tearing them down.
I mean, I'm proud of this group. I think we've shown all season long, like, they're resilient, they're connected, they pull for each other, they enjoy one another, they celebrate one another, and, that stuff alone is good for 10 to 12 points a game. And, for this group, the way that they share the ball, how unselfish they are. I mean, I'm really proud of them. It's not been ideal circumstances all season long, but they've shown the character of who they are. They've been resilient. They've responded to adversity, and they continue to elevate one another. And, I couldn't be more proud of this group than I am at this moment.
The chemistry Clark built with Mitchell became legendary around the league. They spent extra time after practice working on pick-and-roll timing and court spacing. Clark deferred to Mitchell's experience, while Mitchell helped Clark adjust to the professional game's pace. Their partnership showed how stars and veterans can collaborate instead of competing for attention. The respect flowed both ways, creating trust that translated directly to wins. Boston's development under Clark's leadership proved what positive influence can accomplish. Boston went from struggling with confidence to becoming one of the league's most reliable big players. Clark fed her easy baskets early in games to get her rhythm going. She celebrated Boston's defensive stops like they were game winners. Boston responded by protecting Clark on screens and crashing the boards harder than ever. Their connection became unstoppable. Hull's breakout season happened because Clark made sure she got quality shots. Clark drew double teams that left Hull open for clean looks from three-point range. Instead of forcing her own shots, Clark found Hull in her sweet spots and trusted her to knock them down. Hull rewarded that trust by becoming one of the most efficient shooters in the league. Clark's unselfishness created opportunities that benefited everyone.
I think it just says a lot about who we have as human beings. That was one of the things that we made a priority in the offseason of, who we bring into this organization. Number one, quality human beings, selfless human beings, that want to pull for one another, that understand. We have this depth for a reason, and sometimes it creates challenges getting people on the floor. But in situations like this is why you have it. And I'm just, she's right. I mean, as a pro. And as a pro coach, this is one of the most connected groups I've seen.
Indiana's attendance numbers exploded because fans could see the genuine chemistry Clark created. Games became must-see events, not just for Clark's individual brilliance, but for the way the entire team played together. The Fever sold out arenas across the country because people wanted to watch a team that actually enjoyed playing with each other. Clark's positive energy became contagious and translated into box office success. The playoff contention that nobody expected from Indiana happened because Clark built winning habits from day one. She demanded excellence from herself before asking anything from teammates. Clark showed up early, stayed late, and made everyone around her better through her work ethic. The Fever went from lottery team to playoff contender because their star player understood that individual success means nothing without team success. Clark's LPGA partnership and cross-sport endorsements came after she had proven herself as a reliable professional leader. Brands wanted to associate with someone who represented excellence both on and off the court. Her marketability grew because she had shown the ability to handle pressure and maintain her character under scrutiny. Companies invest in athletes who demonstrate leadership qualities that extend beyond their sport. The sustainable culture Clark built in Indiana became the model for how championship teams operate. Players wanted to play alongside her because she made everyone better. Coaches trusted her because she never created drama or questioned their decisions publicly. The front office supported her because she represented everything they wanted their franchise to be. Indiana's rise proved that selfless leadership creates lasting success. While Chicago dealt with constant drama and chemistry issues, the Fever built something special around a player who understood that lifting others up creates winning culture. The Sky's decision to name Kamilla Cardoso as their Player of the Year over Reese delivered the ultimate message about organizational priorities. Chicago picked the player who showed up every day and supported her teammates over the one who created constant drama and disappeared when it mattered most. Cardoso earned respect through consistency and professionalism, while Reese burned bridges with public complaints and unreliable availability. The Fever's transformation under Clark's leadership proves that championship teams need more than raw talent. They need the right person setting the tone. Indiana built something special around genuine leadership, while Chicago learned that ego destroys everything. Do you think the Chicago Sky should trade Angel Reese? Let us know down in the comments below. Like, subscribe, and turn on all notifications so you never miss out. Click the video on the screen, and we will see you in the next one.